For me, independence in marketing would mean coming up, with solutions by doing four things, which is challenging status quo and norms, thinking laterally and creatively, being able to think futuristically and holistically. I think it's extremely important for marketers to be able to, possibly kind of literally crystal gaze and see ahead, into where the category and consumers are going. And I think finally, constantly experimenting and then, putting what works to scale. So I think those are the four things that mean independence in marketing to me. In a nutshell, by encouraging and challenging, people to think outside in, reframing and reimagining a conventional problem or context, in a more current, contemporary context, creating or looking to sort of create levers of disruption in a category. And I think aspiring to deliver consumer delight versus settling to address consumer need. So, for me, it's very important that, me and my team are looking to to understand the drivers of a category, and build really the points of distinction versus the category. And I think, finally, like I always tell, everyone around, I think marketing is one function that kind of sits, at the cusp of, or in fact, sits at the center of, category, consumer, the brand, competition. And it's so extremely important that, there is a constant understanding and an evolving understanding that you have of each of these levers to be able to disrupt meaningfully. I think marketing is one function that needs to kind of, think independently, but plan and execute cohesively and, interdependently. It's a function that needs to be inspirational and bring thought leadership and really be the force of synergy. So I feel independence in marketing needs to be, seen and actually held with a lot of caution. And it's therefore very important that, the marketer is balancing thinking and execution, balancing the short term and long term, and, is holding themselves responsible for both equity and brand love, but also delivering the P&L. Therefore, to me, the independence, I mean, all of these are strengths of being independent, but I think some of the threats of being extremely, sometimes over independent is that you might just lose sight of, the cross-functional dependencies. I think, the opportunities again for marketing lies, or independence in marketing lies in constantly innovating how we think. I think marketing is one function that needs to keep disrupting itself and, its own ways of working, while I think holding on to the more fundamental aspects. Timely, the weakness only independent or being very independent in marketing is about, I think, it's a little like thread actually, because you have, you could kind of, the moment you pivot too much towards being independent, you might just lose sight of how your function impacts a lot of other functions like sales, or revenue in organizations, or looking back at product development and R&D. So I would say overall, it's very important to be holistic and balanced. And I think treating independence, like we always say, right? I think treating it as a responsibility more than an entitlement. I think the opportunities in marketing, I think, are many. But I think one of the opportunities for independence in marketing is, I think, learning, from contemporaries, looking at, kind of defying norms, looking at learnings from a lot of other, categories. For example, we operate in the business of beauty and personal care. Now, there is actually a lot that we could also learn from brands which could be actually in the space of service, which could be in the space of food and beverage, or which could be possibly even in the space of technology, on just how you keep making yourself relevant, and at the same time, ensuring that you're not getting complacent.